Hello my friends, today we are back at Luminar Neo and we will be reviewing the Magic Light AI. This is a new extension from Skyler and they will be releasing this on December 15, so just in a few days. I think this is going to be a very popular extension with Christmas coming because it will affect the lights on Christmas tree, street lights and so on. So let's get right into it. Before we go into editing a photo, I just want to show you what the tool does every slide, and you will find this tool under edit and under extensions, as you can see, Magic Light. And when you open this panel, then you have a whole bunch of sliders. The intensity is just what it says is the intensity of this effect. I'm going to put it somewhere pretty high over here so we can see what it does. And then the size, this is the size of your beams. You see how it creates this star-shaped beam? So the size, I can make it bigger or smaller, bigger and smaller. We'll leave it somewhere over here. Beam width. This is this streaks of light, the star shape. You see if I increase the width, they will get fatter and fatter until it becomes a circle. So you do not see the beams anymore. As I take them down, they are skinnier and more defined. So that's the beam width. Glow, it's that glow, the beam of light you see that goes around the light. I can put it really high or pretty much take it away completely. So that is the glow. Then we have clearness. Clearness, it's the sharpening. You will pretty much take away any glow and these streaks will become very, very sharp. So if I move it, you see we can get like really thin, clear streaks. And that is really not a good look. It's not realistic at all. So you never really want to do that. So I'm going to take them down. Then we have brightness. That's the brightness of your highlights. I'm going to bring it down. We have the number of beams right now. I think it's set on 7 beams. You can make those. I like to keep it between 5 and 6, so let's keep it at 5. Now here it looks like more than 5. That's because it recognizes this as 2 light sources. So we have a beam here and one over here. And you can increase the number of beams all the way to 24, which would be way, way, way too much. Like I said, 5 or 6, it pretty much gives the best effect. And then we have rotation. You see we can spin them around. And that's kind of neat in case you want to make sure that your beam goes in a certain direction. All right, so this is the tools. Let's take an actual photo. I am going to start with, let's see, we'll go with this Christmas tree because Christmas is coming. And I know a lot of you guys will be using this tool for your Christmas lights. When you take a Christmas photo like this with your phone or with a camera that does not have a fast lens, that means a very low f-stop, your Christmas lights will end up these tiny, tiny little dots and it just doesn't look so impressive. Now let's see what happens when I increase the intensity. You see how they start glowing, and I can go overboard and go a little bit too much. And now we have like star shapes everywhere. Now, of course, that is too much. I will reduce to something like that. I can increase the size, but that just kind of makes a little bit everything too hazy. So I'm going to bring it down. The beam width, you see the stars gets bigger. Then the glow. Clearness, like I said, if you go all the way, they become very, very sharp, and I do not think that is a good look. So I'm going to bring it down. The brightness, I can make it brighter. And number of beams, just like I showed you before. I like to keep mine at 5. And then the rotation, we are spinning the lights. So if I would edit this photo, I would probably take it a little bit lower intensity. And this is our before, and this is the after, before and after, just like magic. Let's take another example. One thing you should look out for is when you have big light sources like this. This was taken with a lens that has a lower f-stop number, so it was a fast lens. And now we have this big bokeh. And if you apply this effect to this big bokeh, it would not look so nice. So let's see, Magic Light. If I put the intensity, because you see it puts the star, but you can still see those big blobs. So let's see if we can make it look kind of okay. What I will need to do is to match my effect, my stars, to the source. So I need to make them fatter. Can I do that? Maybe if I increase the glow. I don't want clearness. I want to take clearness pretty much almost down so I can just see a little bit of the star. And then we also have masking. So if you get some of this effect on your subject, you can always mask it. Right now, actually, I'm doing the opposite. I should have painted on the light, not the person. But that's okay because we can always go into our mask and go to action and invert. There you go. So now we make sure our subject does not get affected. And I will show a little bit more of this in another example. Now here is an interesting example. This is not Christmas lights. This is just some lamps. And if you would apply that star shape over here, it would look completely ridiculous. Let's see. You see, you do not want to do that. So how would we use this effect in something like this? Well, I think we need to get rid of those star shape and just have a glow around each light. So the way I would do that is take clearness all the way to 0. You see, now we have 0 beams, and then I will take the size down, take the intensity down, and I just want to create a little bit of glow around each light, something like that. So now this is our before, this is the after, before and after, and that just looks a lot more realistic. Let's take another example, and I will show you some things where it's struggling a little bit. But before, let me show you this example here. I think this one is interesting. We have a few lights over here, and if I go to edit and I go to magic light, let's just increase this effect. We'll put it pretty high. I will increase the size, and you see what I'm doing here. Let's say this background will be distracting. If we had a distracting background, we can use this by creating this hazy look and kind of soften the background. So I'm just gonna soften it, take the clearness down, and now we see how hazy this is. This is the before, this is the after, before and after, and here is where we can use mask, and we can just brush this where we wanted to have the effect and make sure it does not get on our subject. So I can just put it over here like that. So this is the before, this is the after. Now let's see where this is struggling. If I take this Christmas photo and go to edit, go to magic light, you would think we can make this whole room glow up with all this Christmas tree and the lights around the mirror. But as I increase this to 100%, you will see it only picks up a few lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just a few of them. I'm going to increase the size so you can see it. So this is the on and off, on and off. So in order for this extension to pick up your lights, they have to be quite brighter than the rest of your subject. Otherwise, you will not pick it up. So in this image, we maybe do not want to use this effect. Let's take another example. What about when we have just, lamp lights like this? Can this become better? Magic light. I'm going to increase the intensity and maybe just a little bit. I'll leave everything to default. 7 beams is too much. I'll take it down to 5. And this is our before. This is after. Before and after. I think that's a nice effect on that image. Now, what about this one? I was surprised to find out in this image, it does not recognize any lights. So if I go to magic light and go intensity 100%, nothing happens. It does not recognize any lights, and I cannot make that beam effect on this image. Let's take another example. I am going to use it on this one. And here we have some nice Christmas lights. And if I go to magic light and increase the intensity, it only recognizes this one light. So you see, before and after, before and after. So it doesn't recognize any of the other lights. Let's take another image. What about street lights? We have a lot of highlights in here, so I'm not sure what it's going to do on this image. Let's go to magic light and increase intensity. And it looks like it's picking up a lot of the light. So what do we want to do with this one? Maybe just a tiny little bit like this. This is the before, this is the after. I will reduce the number of beams. And maybe the clearness, I'll take it down just a little bit. I like to have that hazy look, and I don't want too much. You see, like I don't want that kind of sharp look to it just a little bit, and this is the before and after. That one, I think it worked really well. Do I have another example? This one over here. Now this is a lot of really bright lights, and I'm assuming is going to pick up pretty much all of them. So magic light, intensity, and oh yes, we are getting all the lights in here. So just a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to reduce the number of beams of 6. And here I think you can see it, like if I increase the intensity, let me increase the clearness. You can see here the number of beams very clearly, how I can increase and add a whole bunch. And then the rotation, you'll be able to see it very, very well. That's kind of like a neat effect. You can make like a little short video of just spinning lights. So what I would do here, I will take the clearness down, of course, because I do not like that very sharp look. The beam width, I'll take it down a little bit. The glow, take it way down. Intensity, take it down. And let's see. Beam width. Take the brightness down a little bit. Increase the intensity a little bit. And something like that is as far as I would go. I'll reduce the number of beams to 6. And this is our before and after. Before and after. So that's it for today. This was just a quick review. I think you guys will have a lot of fun with this. Do not abuse it. It's very, very easy to go over the top with this. So I hope this was helpful and you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skyler Ewing. I'll see you in my next video.